today's digital age, staying ahead of the curve is crucial for success. Taraba Business School is committed to empowering the next generation of leaders with the skills they need to thrive. We present you our special computer training exclusively designed for SS3 and GSS3 graduates. Our comprehensive program covers a wide range of topics, including Microsoft Word, master the art of document creation and editing, unlock the power of data analysis and visualization, Microsoft Access, learn to manage and analyze database, Microsoft.
You're watching the 9 p.m. news on SOM TV, the pulse of the nation. You can also follow us on Facebook at SOM TV and catch all the action live on YouTube at SOM TV Live. On the news tonight, Tinubu embarks on two-nation tour to St. Louis and Brazil for diplomatic BRICS engagement. Taraba partner with private sector to address waste management crisis and launches new price framework. APC chairman Ganduje resigns amid zoning dispute as party moves to restore regional equity. On international news, U.S. Supreme Court boosts Trump's executive powers, limits nationwide injunctions. On business news, federal government targets 18% tax to GDP ratio through comprehensive reforms, exempt low income earners and small businesses. On entertainment news, NAPTIP declares Pete Darlington wanted over alleged rape and cyber crimes. And on sport news, Olise urges Oseme to join EPL for greater global relevance. I am Teresa Yubaduse, and now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu will depart Abuja on Saturday, June 28, 2025, for a two-nation visit to St. Lucia and Brazil. His visit to St. Lucia aims to strengthen South-South ties and deepen Nigerians' engagement with the Caribbean, including meetings with top officials and address to joint session of the country's parliament. He will also host a high-level luncheon with leaders of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States to explore economic and cultural cooperation. Following his engagement in St. Lucia, President Tinubu will attend the 17th BRICS Summit in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil from July 6 to 7th, invited by Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. Tinubu will participate as leader of a BRICS partner country, a recognition above guest status. The summit will focus on enhancing Global South cooperation and advancing inclusive sustainable development. Environment and urban planning reforms have also come into focus in Taraba State, where the Ministry of Waste Management has held a high-level engagement with private waste operators. The dialogue aimed to address the state growing waste management crisis by promoting lawful dumping practice and introducing a new commercial pricing model to enhance operation efficiency. The initiative reflects broader effort to modernize waste disposal system in urban centers across Nigeria, where rapid population growth has put immense pressure on existing infrastructure. SOM TV correspondent completes the report.
In Jalingo, Taraba State, the Ministry of Waste Management has held a crucial meeting with private waste operators to address the state mountain waste disposal challenges. The section, hosted at the ministry's headquarters, brought together government officials, contractors, and environmental experts to chart a coordinated path forward. Permanent Secretary Elder Philibus Daniel Adamu clarified that recent misunderstandings with operators were due to concern over unverified dumping location, not an intent to shut down operations. He stressed the need for proof of legal waste disposal and warned of penalties for violation. He also introduced a new benchmark pricing model for commercial waste collection, designed to balance cost with service efficiency.
Tarabans, we expect a cleaner environment. Yeah, actually there were no issues in the beginning, like you said. It's just that they misunderstand the ministry. What the ministry wanted to do is this: if we are engaging you as a private waste evacuator, you're supposed to show us evidence of where you are dumping this waste. You cannot pack waste from point A and go and dump it in point B because that place is not developed or not fully developed. So we try to correct that, and they have today shown us evidence of where they can dump that waste. We also told them that should they be caught dumping at illegal place, we are going to fine them heavily.
Chairman of the Private Waste Association, Alhaji Mustafa Tukur, welcomed the ministry's creation, noting it has improved coordination among operators and vowed full support for government efforts.
We have been into this business I've been into this for 18 years. We have been longing to see such a ministry. But we are happy that when the ministry came on board, in fact, when I heard about them last year, I was so excited, so happy. But my comment has become now, we sit together, we do. In fact, there are some of my colleagues that are into this that I don't know them, but with the help of the ministry, the comment of the ministry, we met, we were so excited, we discussed so many things that involved our job, our activities, our business. So we are happy. In fact, we are more than happy for this, and we like to thank His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Taraba State, in the person of Dr. Abu Kepas, for this ministry that he created. We in the Waste Management, we felt he has done what we have been longing to see in this state. With the support we are getting from the ministry now, things will change, definitely change, and we are 100% ready to support him to make the state capital for beginning a cleaner environment.
Secretary Bolagade Adeshola echoed the praise, calling the ministry establishment an answer prayer for the sector.
Coming on board of the Ministry of Waste Management is actually an awesome idea that we have been longing for a while. I mean, their coming on board is an answered prayer because it will bring waste management into a new phase, even in Taraba State. And we appreciate the efforts of our beloved Governor, His Excellency Dr. Kepas Agu, for creating this ministry in order to see a clean state in Taraba State. And I believe so strongly with the cooperation of everyone, we would achieve that vision of having a waste-free, clean and sanitized environment.
Stakeholders also praised concern about illegal dumping and its environmental impact. The meeting closed with a shared commitment to proper waste management and a cleaner Taraba State. From Jalingo, this is Lilian Yakubu reporting for Some TV.
The political landscape within the All Progressive Congress (APC) is undergoing a significant shift as reports emerge indicating that Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, the party's national chairman, has tendered his resignation. Sources close to the party leadership suggest that this move is not entirely unexpected, coming after sustained internal pressure from the key stakeholders in the north-central region of the country. Dr. Ganduje assumed the chairmanship in 2023 following the departure of Senator Abdullahi Adamu in what was initially perceived as a bid to maintain continuity with the party's hierarchy. However, it was since becoming apparent that the occupants of the position traditionally zoned to the north-central region stirred unrest among members from the geopolitical zone, who felt politically shortchanged. The party insiders rival that Ganduji's decision is part of the wider political compromise aimed to restoring the APC zoning formula, a principle the party has historically learned on the managed Nigerian complex region dynamics. By stepping aside, Dr. Ganduji is reportedly helping to de-escalate internal tension and research the party's commitment to equitable representation. In related governance development, the federal government is stepping up its efforts to maintain electoral integrity ahead of several scheduled elections. A security strategy meeting held in Abuja underscored this intent, with the National Security Advisor Nuhu Rabidau sending a stern warning to political actors. Electronic violence and malpractice will not be tolerated, represented by a senior official. Rabidau emphasized the government's readiness to crack down on offenders and ramp up international gathering to prompt security threats. The Independent National Electronic Commission also featured promptly at the meeting with Chairman Mahmoud Yakubu, highlighting the importance of securing both election materials and personnel during the voting process. Still on electoral issues, public affairs analyst and lawyer Maxwell Opara weighed in on the legal responsibility of electoral body. Opara reminded the public that the INEC chairman, Professor Yakubu, is legally bound to register any political party that meets constitutional and statutory requirements. He warned that the failing to do so not only contradict the law but also undermine the principle of democratic and political inclusiveness. This clarification comes amid debate about political parties, proliferation, and INEC's oversight role in Nigeria's multi-party democracy.
Well, the provision is there in our electoral Act 2022. It's stated from section 75 down to 80, that establish the criteria, the requirements, the condition, what qualifies an association to be registered as a political party. Vis-a-vis sending the application, the name, the acronyms, the logo, and what have you to the political, to the INEC. Then INEC now will review it. After reviewing it, and they discovered that you have made the criteria in line with the law, INEC will now go ahead to register that association as a political party. And one important thing we must say, because I saw the former governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Chibike Amechi, saying that the INEC chairman refused to register their association as a political party upon being met with all the criteria. Permit me to use this medium to say that Professor Mahmoud Yakub has no right whatsoever, including the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, to reject that application. Immediately you are qualified. He is under the law. You are not going to beg him. You are not going to bow before him for him to register. You are not going to lobby him. Immediately you made the criteria, you are going to, is automatic. Now, where the INEC chairman refused to do that, you approach court. Then court will now compel him because he is an establishment of the law. INEC is an establishment of the law. The chairman of INEC is an establishment of the law. So He cannot decide which law to obey. He is under the law to register an association as a political party if you meet up with the criteria in line with section 75 down to 80 of the Electoral Act.
Well, with this, as conversation around electoral reform continue, the Federal Inland Revenue Service has undergone a major transformation following President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's assent to a series of tax reform bills, now rebranded as the Nigerian Revenue Service, NRS. The new institution is designed to unify the country's fragmented tax architecture, eliminate duplication of effort, and promote transparency and fairness in revenue collection. The 4 bills signed into law include the Nigerian Tax Bill, Fair Taxation, the Nigerian Tax Administration Bill, the Nigerian Revenue Service Bill, and the Joint Revenue Board Establishment Bill. Speaking from the President Villa, President Tinubu hailed the reform as a fundamental restructuring of Nigerian fiscal framework, stating that the country must move towards a tax system that is not only efficient but also investor-friendly. Shifting to a state-level governance, the political reconciliation between Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his predecessor, Nyesom Wike, has generated viral reaction. Speaking on an Arise News, journalist Ruben Abeti described Governor Fubara's move to make peace with Wike as tantamount to unconditional surrender. His colleague Rufai Osani provided further analysis suggesting that the reconciliation was less about ideological differences and more about control over state resources. The agreement follows several months of political tension and a state of emergency declared by the presidency, culminating in the appointment of a sole administration to restore order in Rivers State.
As regards Fubara and Wike, the truth is, they will always settle their fights. In the first place, the fight was about the resource of the states. Now, they've been able to twist Fubara. It just shows that Fubara couldn't fight the hegemony, so he went on a wild goose chase. The same agreements that probably Fubara didn't want to agree before, maybe is what they agreed now. I don't have the empirical facts. I don't like to talk in the blind, but in the dark. But probably it's that same agreement. It will not be more than, yielding to your boss and all of that. You can see I think that's Amawule, the Speaker of the House, and the factions at which they fought. So all of them are singing Kumbaya today, and it's all over. For good measure, the question we ask Fubara is that, will you just now go ahead to join APC so that we just know that you have potted fully? Or, because I don't know or you still want to do this amorphous relationship that your boss, Wike, does. That is one leg in, one leg out. In the end, this was not about the Rivers people. So the delusion that they are trying to put forward and say, this is about peace, it was not about the Rivers people. It's about both of them having an innate agreement. Things went south, and then Wike flexed his muscle. Obviously in this, he came out winners because he had more might, and he has been able to set Fubara straight, and they are on the line on the part of this, their own private agreement. All of this, don't deceive yourself. Politicians, when they fight, it's never about you, the people. Forget it. Your prospects in life is just like 1 or 2 line items on the budget. For them, it's about themselves and their families and what they can build. So, are we going to say congratulations to people in Rivers? What congratulations? Because they still put a sole administrator there. Despite the things we talked about, the aberration of state of emergency, still went ahead. So why do we deceive ourselves so much in this country?
Fubara meeting with Wike. Look, what Fubara has done is just to do an unconditional release, or unconditional surrender, to exhibit his cowardice. I know that before now he had gone to London to see the president and all that. He's been busy begging. Okay, so what he has done is to cop out. All those people that I see there, I know many of them. I haven't seen anybody there that is Fubara's camp. It's, Nyesom Wike's camp dominating the meeting. So what it means is that Fubara has done an unconditional surrender. What are the details of that surrender? We would like to know. Has he now agreed that he will bow down, kowtow to the Godfather after the fashion of the Adelabu matter in Oyo State? Has he also kowtowed to the extent that whatever the Godfather says is what you will agree? We would like to know what the details are. And where does this leave all those youths saying, we are fighting for Ijaw Nation, we are fighting for Fubara, and those stomach-driven elders who were coming on television to defend Fubara? Did you consult them before going there for this unconditional, for this surrender that he has done? However, everybody is driven by their stomach, what they will eat, whether Godfather or the Godson, and all that. So maybe we should just look for what will happen next. Maybe now they will reinstate Fubara, and he will go back and be governor, and he will be the one to control the budget, that the National Assembly, the Senate has passed in line with Section 11, and then, of course, there will be peace hereafter. This is all about character. This is all about the politics of Nigeria and the role of godfathers. This is all about, after all, this same Fubara told us that he doesn't need the position. What he has shown, what he has demonstrated, looks like serious desperation. Even if we applaud the fact that President Tinubu is acting as a father, as a peacemaker, and is trying to ensure that no part of Nigeria is disturbed. Where does he leave Ibo Kete Ibas, who is, enjoying the position? He's from your state. All these cross-river people trying to go and do long truth in River State. Okay, maybe the president will change his cabinet within the next month or so. He can always find something for him. He can always make him ambassador, because he has shown that he's a man that can be used to pursue whatever agenda big mayor ask him to pursue. They will find something for him. But I look forward to what the outcomes of this, surrender by.
In security matters, an alarming incident was reported in Kebbi State, where over 300 heavily armed bandits launched a coordinated assault on a police camp in Makoko village, located in Sakaba local government area. The attackers, believed to be part of the Castle Rustling Syndicate, engaged security forces in prolonged gun battle, eventually overpowering them and seizing 8 AK-47 rifles. A patrol vehicle was also set ablaze during the attack. Intelligence reports suggest the bandits were moving stolen livestock from Niger State en route to Zamfara. Following the attack, security reinforcements, include troops under Operation Fansa Yama, were deployed, and search operations are currently ongoing. On a more strategic front, the fight against terrorism, the Nigerian Air Force has launched successful airstrike in part of Niger State under Operation Fansa Yama Sector 1. These targeted operations, which took place between June 24th and 26th, were aimed at dismantling terrorist enclaves and disrupting the logistics supplies chain. According to the Air Commando, Ehemen Ejodime, spokesperson for the Nigerian Air Force, several terrorists were neutralized and significant infrastructure used by insurgents for regrouping and launching attack was destroyed. The mission, coordinated closely with ground force, is part of the broader interagency effort to restore peace, security in Nigeria's northwest and north central region. Security reforms has taken a digital turn as Nigerian government, through a collaboration between Galaxy Backbone and Nigerian Police Trust Fund, has unveiled plans to establish smart police stations nationwide. This initiative was formally announced during the signing of a memorandum of understanding in Abuja. Galaxy Backbone Managing Director Professor Ibrahim Adeyanju stated that the smart police station will be equipped with advanced technologies, including artificial intelligence, surveillance systems, and cloud infrastructure supported by the nationwide fiber optic network. Executive Secretary of the NPTF, Muhammad Shaidu, described the project as a vital step towards transforming law enforcement in Nigeria and addressing long-standing challenges related to data collection and operational efficiency.
At Galaxy Backbone's headquarters in Abuja, government officials and security stakeholders witnessed the signing of a memorandum of understanding that could change the face of policing in Nigeria. The deal will see high-speed fiber cloud services and artificial intelligence tools deployed in a new network of smart police stations.
This innovation will give birth to police stations with smart connectivity, surveillance, automation. Now, if you remember, the head of service president talked about a paperless ministry. We're looking at a paperless Nigerian police with our ECMS. Artificial intelligence with robust cybersecurity components, among others. Smart policing means better surveillance, faster data access, improved reporting systems, and real-time coordination. By integrating secure data platforms into policing, we are enhancing effectiveness, transparency, responsiveness, and public trust in our law enforcement agency.
The smart police stations are expected to feature live surveillance cameras, electronic case management systems, and real-time data sharing platforms, all aimed at cutting response times and boosting public trust. The project supports the federal government's Renewed Hope agenda and the 2025-2028 Integrated Digital Transformation Strategy.
Know what we will be gaining from this, our MOU signing today, is how we can foster the achievements of the Nigerian police force in digitalization. When we discussed, we talked about how we want to go into police stations and not having our papers being, but you guys can come in and digitalize statement forms. We can also have a way our police stations are connected to one another.
Officials say the first phase will target security hotspots, with nationwide rollout expected to follow after pilot testing and training. If implemented on schedule, the initiative could deliver Nigeria's first smart police stations before year-end, a digital step towards safer streets and stronger communities. Sunest Nathaniel, Channels Television News.
Still on institutional reform, President Tinubu has ordered a comprehensive personnel audit and skill gap assessment across the Federal Civil Service. The directive, announced during the 2025 International Civil Service Week, aims to enhance the efficiency of public servants by ensuring that only qualified personnel are deployed into appropriate roles. The president also underscored the importance of digital transformation and accurate data in public service delivery, aligning with the 2021-2025 Civil Service Reform Strategy currently underway. Head of the Civil Service, MDD Wilson Jack, has also commended her role for driving innovation within the public sector. Across Nigerian state administration, development projects are continuing at pace in Oyo State. The government has justified its controversial 63.4 billion naira plan to renovate and rebuild the government house, which has stood for over 70 years. Commissioner for Information, Dotin Oyalade, clarified that the project involved the reconstruction of 21 different structures, including residence, a banquet hall, a health pad, and region facilities. According to him, the initiative formed part of a broader infrastructure overhaul under Governor Seyi Makinde's administration, which has also seen improvement in internal generated revenue and work welfare. Critics had earlier questioned the cost of project, suggesting it was excessive at the time of economic hardship. However, state officials insist the investment is essential for both administrative efficiency and state pride. Ogun State is also making progress in infrastructure and energy reform authorities. Authorities have announced the state of retail operation at the NNPC compressed natural gas station in Koto, Abeokuta. This moves under the presidential initiative on CNG is aimed at reducing Nigerians depending on petrol and diesel by promoting cleaner and more affordable alternatives. Commissioner for Transportation Olubange Daro emphasized that the new station will serve thousands of motorists and previous had to travel long distance for CNG refuels. Expansion of CNG infrastructure is already underway, which the state officials citing initiative has pivotal the environmental sustainability and economic growth. In the realm of international tech partnership and national development, Google has announced a strategic acceleration of its artificial intelligence AI initiative in Nigeria and across Africa. Google's West African director, Olamide Balogun, stated that the company is committed to driving innovation, job creation, and inclusive growth by equipping local developers and entrepreneurs with advanced AI tools and resources. Speaking at the African CEO Forum in Kigali, Balogun emphasized that Nigerians' youthful and tech-savvy population position is unique and benefit from global AI trend. He added that Google is already collaborating with universities, tech hubs, and the government agencies to roll out educational and developmental programs aimed to building African digital workforce of the future. Meanwhile, back home, Nigerian former President Olusegun Obasanjo has once again stirred nation discourse with his latest remark about governance. Speaking at the 25th edition of African Business Conference organized by the Lagos Business School, Obasanjo criticized what he described as elite compliances and a failure to hold political leaders accountable. According to the former head of state, Nigerian problems are not rooted in a lack of resource, but in a poor management, leadership failure, and social indifferences. He challenged the country elite and middle class to raise above selfish interest and champion systematic change. Obasanjo's comments come at a time when citizens are increasingly calling for performance-based governance and transparency at all levels of government. Shifting to legal and diplomatic development, a Nairobi High Court has ruled that the 21 adoption of extradition of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, was illegally and unconstitutionally. The court declared that Kanu's removal from Kenya to Nigeria without due process was a violation of international law and his fundamental human rights. This judgment could have far-reaching implications for the Nigerians' legal standing in the ongoing trial of Kanu, who remains in detention while facing challenges of terrorism and treason. Human rights advocates are now pressing the Nigerian government to reconsider the legal base of its prosecution strategy, while IPOB supporters have hailed the ruling as a vindication of his leaders' claims of unlawful rendition. In fight against cybercrime, the Nigerian police force has secured a conviction of 4 cyber criminals in Gombe State. The individuals were found guilty in conducting online scams, identity theft and facing schemes targeting both domestic and international victims. A Gombe State Magistrate Court sentenced them to varying terms of imprisonment with hard labor. The convictions are part of the broader push by Nigerian Law Enforcement Agency to curb digital fraud, which has earned the country international scrutiny. Police co-person reiterated this commitment to prosecuting cyber criminals and urged the public to report suspicious activities to the authorities promptly. In Lagos State, an incident that underscored the importance of professionalism within the police force occurred when officers of Lagos State Police Command were caught on video extorting money from a Dutch national. The viral footage showed officers demanding bribes after stopping the foreigner's vehicle at a checkpoint. In response, Lagos Police Commissioner Adegoka Fayode ordered the immediate arrest and dismissal of effort involved, stating that misconduct will not be tolerated under his leadership. The Dutch citizens who expressed surprise at the swift disciplinary action was later invited to a formal apology ceremony by the police command. This case has been widely praised as an example of accountability in an action and potential turning point in improving police-citizen relations in the country. Still in Lagos State, a recent outbreak of cholera had led to the death of over 20 residents, prompting an urgent response from the state government and Federal Health Agency. Commissioner for Health Akin Abayomi disclosed that the outbreak traced contaminated water sources and poor hygiene practices. He spread to several local government areas including Ete-Osa, Lagos Island, and Kosafe. The state government has launched an emergency response including public awareness, water treatment distribution, and deployment of mobile clinics. Health authorities have urged residents to boil drinking water, practice proper hygiene, and report symptoms such as diarrhea and vomiting immediately. The World Health Organization is also reportedly monitoring the outbreak closely, offering technical support to local health workers. In education news, Nigerian students and scholars have received a significant boost from the federal government through the Tertiary Education Trust Fund. The agency announced the release of 50 billion naira in research grants to public tertiary institutions across the country. Executive Secretary of That Fund, Sonny Ehono, noted that the funding is intended to drive innovation and problem-solving research in fields such as agriculture, health, technology, and renewable energy. He added that universities receiving the grant will be evaluated based on outcomes and publication qualities to ensure value for money and global competitiveness. Stakeholders have welcomed the move, calling it long overdue investment in Nigeria's intellectual capital. Meanwhile, the lingering minimum wage negotiation between organized labor and the federal government remain in a statement. The Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, and the Trade Union Congress have insisted on a new minimum wage of 250,000, citing skyrocketing inflation and the removal of fuel subsidy. The federal government, however, has countered with an offer of 62,000 naira, which labor unions have rejected. Talks have further complicated by state governors who claim they cannot afford to pay even the 62,000 benchmark, leading to threats of mass protests and industrial action. Minister of Labour Nkiruka Onyechuka has urged patience, assuring Nigerians that a resulting will be reached soon, but the clock is ticking as workers grow increasingly restless across the country. Stay tuned. We are heading into a short commercial break. We'll be right back with more information on Som TV.
Are you stuck in Jalingo late at night? Need a safe and reliable ride fast? Introducing Supercab, Jalingo's trusted ride-hailing service from anywhere in the city. We will pick you up right at your doorstep. Book a ride in seconds. Safe, fast and affordable. Visit www.supercab.com.ng or download the Supercab app today. Supercab, your ride, your way.
Welcome back. Up next, international news. The U.S. Supreme Court has issued a major ruling that boosts the power of sitting President Donald Trump by limiting the ability of lower courts to issue nationwide injunction against the federal policies. The decision, authored by Justice Coney Barrett, asserts that the court must never exceed their authority when reviewing executive action, while it does not directly approve Trump's push to end bright citizenship. It weakens legal tools that have been used to block his politics. The ruling draws praise from the Trump administration as a win for executive authority, but strong dissent from Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, who warned it could lead to unchecked presidential power. On business news, the federal government aims to raise Nigerian tax to gross domestic product ratio from below 10% to at least 18% within 3 years. According to the chairman of Presidential Committee on the Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform, Taiwo Oyedele, speaking on the national television, Oyedele said that this target will be achieved through newly signed tax reform designed to boost revenue and promote equity in the system. He noted that Nigerian current tax yield is among the lowest globally and identified a tax gap of up to 70% due to widespread evasion. The new laws, including the Nigerian Tax Bill, Tax Administration Bill, Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Bill, and Joint Revenue Board Bill, aim to reduce evasion and ease compliance without raising tax rates. Key provisions include exempting individuals earning lesser than 1 million naira annual from personal income tax and excluding small businesses with turnover below 50 million naira from company income tax. The value-added tax remains at 7.5%, but essential goods and services like food, education, healthcare, rent, and public transport are exempted. Oyalade emphasized that reforms also focus on transparency and accountability in the use of public revenue to rebuild citizen trust in government. He credited President Bola Tinubu for the political courage and implement reforms that had been overdue for decades. On entertainment news, the National Agency of Prohibition and Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, has declared musician Darlington Okoye, popularly known as Pete Darlington, wanted for alleged rape, cyberbullying, and cyber-stalking. The agency made the announcement via Instagram, urging the public to provide information of his whereabouts. NAPTIP earlier summoned him over a live video in which he claimed to have had sex with a 15-year-old girl, but he failed to appear. And on sport, former Super Eagles coach Sunday Olisah has advised striker Victor Osimhen to consider joining the Eagles Premier League (EPL) to maintain the global football relevance. Speaking during a radio interview, Olise said the Premier League would offer Osimhen the visibility and competitive edge needing to elevate his career. He praised Osimhen's talent but noted that the strikers must address some areas of improvement to reach his full potential. Olise emphasized that playing in a top league like the EPL, where clubs like Arsenal and Chelsea have shown interest, will allow the Nigerian forward to better showcase his skills and meet fans' expectations. On a final note, in the world of sport, Nigerian Super Falcons have announced their final squad for the upcoming Women's African Cup of Nations qualifiers. Coach Randy Weldrum was called up mix of veterans and promising young talents, including Barcelona's assist Oshilola and Madrid Rashidat. The team is currently in training camp in Abuja and is scheduled to face Ghana in a high-stake qualifying match in Accra. Sport Minister John Owan Eno has urged Nigerians to support the team, stating that Falcons represent of the most successful women's football programs on the continent. The NFF has also reassured fans that adequate logistical and financial support has been provided to ensure optimal performance by the squad. And we have come to the end of this edition of News at 9 from Some TV. But before we go, let's take a look at the recap of the news headline. President Bola Tinubu has embarked on a two-nation tour to St. Lucia and Brazil, strengthening diplomatic ties with the Caribbean and participating in BRICS Summit in Rio de Janeiro to advance Global South cooperation. In Taraba State, the state government, in partner with the private sector to tackle its mountain waste management crisis, introducing a new price framework to drive efficiency. On the political front, APC chairman Abdullahi Ganduja has resigned amid a zoning dispute, with the party initiating moves to restore regional equity. The federal government has also vowed to crack down on electronic violence, while INEC faces pressure to register all political parties that meet legal requirements. Internationally, the U.S. Supreme Court has boosted Donald Trump's executive powers by restricting the ability of lower courts to issue nationwide injunctions against federal policies. In business, the federal government is aiming to raise Nigeria's tax-to-GDP ratio to 18% through wide-ranging reform that ease compliances and exempt low-income earners and small businesses. In entertainment news, NAPTEP has declared musician Speed Darlington wanted over allegation of rape and cybercrime. And in sport, former Super Eagles coach Sunday Olisa is urging Victor Osimhen to join the English Premier League to enhance his international profile and career growth. Stay tuned with us for more exciting lineup of program and updates. I am Teresa Yubaduse. Good evening.
Are you stuck in Jalingo late at night? Need a safe and reliable ride fast? Introducing Supercab, Jalingo's trusted ride-hailing service from anywhere in the city. We will pick you up right at your doorstep. Book a ride in seconds. Safe, fast,